Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers Tuesday, September 24. Sharon's horrifying wake-up call, Daniel and Heather's doomed plan. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Tuesday, September 24, reveal that Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, will drift off to sleep in that seedy motel and imagine a terrible scenario for Daniel Romalotti Jr., Michael Graziadei. After Sharon dreams of a bloody and presumably fatal outcome for Daniel, she'll wake up horrified. Of course, Cameron, Kirsten, Lyndon Ashby will insist there's no need to be afraid of what they've been working toward. In fact, Cameron will think Sharon just has to focus on making this dream a reality. Part of Sharon will know this is wrong, but Cameron will keep manipulating her into thinking this is the only path to Cassie Newman, Cameron Grimes, closure and true happiness with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. Speaking of Nick, he'll feel the need to take charge of the situation on Tuesday's I&R episode. Now that Nick knows Sharon has gone off the grid, he'll realize how dangerous it is for her to be alone in her current mental state. Nick will do whatever it takes to locate Sharon, so that'll involve gathering more info from Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, and eventually grilling Daniel about his last conversation with Sharon before she bolted. However, Daniel also has an important discussion with Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, coming up. It looks like Daniel will surrender to Heather's idea about leaving town and starting fresh somewhere new. That'll be music to Heather's ears since she's concerned about all the Sharon drama and the lack of job opportunities in Geno City. Heather will think it's best if they all just embrace a new beginning elsewhere, so she may talk to Daniel about how they can convince Lucy Romalotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien. This is the right call. Unfortunately, Daniel and Heather's clean slate is doomed. Sharon will inevitably make a bold move that throws off Heather and Daniel's plans, so we'll pass along predictions on all the chaos that's brewing. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon will keep plotting until Cameron pushes her into the final phase of her grim scheme, so stay tuned for updates on all the bad news ahead. As the sun rises over Geno City, Tuesday, September 24, promises to deliver a dramatic storm on the Young and the Restless, packed with intense revelations and decisions that will send ripples through the town. Sharon Newman, usually the beacon of strength and resolve, is in for one of the most horrifying wake-up calls of her life. Meanwhile, Daniel and Heather's seemingly brilliant plan will begin to show cracks, hinting at a fate neither of them expected. Sharon's horrifying wake-up call. Sharon Newman is no stranger to challenges. Over the years, she's weathered countless storms, many involving the people she loves most. But nothing could prepare her for the bombshell she is about to face. The day starts like any other. Sharon, busy at Crimson Lights, serving her regular customers and managing the cafe with her usual grace. Yet, beneath her calm exterior, she senses a brewing tension that she can't quite shake off. Sharon's motherly instincts have been on high alert ever since Faith moved back to town. Despite Faith's assurances that everything is fine, Sharon has noticed subtle changes in her daughter's behavior. Faith's newfound secrecy, her quiet phone conversations, and her growing distance. Deep down, Sharon fears something sinister is lurking in Faith's life, but she's held back, unwilling to invade her daughter's privacy. That all changes when she receives an anonymous call while at the cafe. The voice on the other end is cold, calculated, and dripping with menace. "Sharon Newman, you're going to lose everything if you don't act fast," the voice warns, before abruptly hanging up. Sharon's heart races as she tries to make sense of the cryptic threat. Unable to ignore the gnawing feeling any longer, Sharon rushes home, determined to get to the bottom of the mystery surrounding Faith. She searches Faith's room, hoping to find answers, and what she uncovers leaves her breathless. Hidden beneath Faith's bed is a burner phone, its call log filled with messages to an unknown number. Even more chilling, Sharon stumbles upon a small bag of pills tucked away in a drawer, a horrifying discovery that sends her into a spiral of panic. Faith, her baby girl, could be in over her head with something far darker than Sharon could have imagined. Her heart breaks as she realizes that her daughter might be entangled in a dangerous world of drugs and secrets, and Sharon knows she has no choice but to confront Faith before it's too late. But Sharon also knows this confrontation could drive a deeper wedge between them, one that might never be mended. The horrifying wake-up call that Sharon receives on this fateful day is just the beginning of a battle that will test her strength, her resolve, and her love for faith. As Sharon prepares to face her daughter with the evidence in hand, she is painfully aware that whatever happens next could change their lives forever. Daniel and Heather's doomed plan. Meanwhile, across town, Daniel Romalotti and Heather Stevens are hard at work trying to execute a plan they both believe is foolproof. For months, Daniel and Heather have been working behind the scenes, plotting to take down a dangerous figure from their past. The stakes are high, but they're confident in their plan, until cracks begin to show. Their plan revolves around framing their target, an influential but corrupt businessman, by planting fake evidence to expose his criminal activities. They've spent weeks gathering intel, building a case that would be impossible to ignore. But as the final stages of their plan draw near, unforeseen complications arise. Daniel starts to notice inconsistencies in the information they've been collecting. Documents that once seemed airtight are now riddled with errors. Heather, too, has her doubts, but she brushes them aside, determined to see their mission through. After all, they've come too far to back out now. But it's not just the holes in their plan that are worrying Daniel. He senses that someone has been following them, keeping tabs on their every move. Tuesday marks a turning point in their plan when Daniel and Heather meet in a secluded location to finalize their next steps. Tension is palpable between them, with Daniel voicing his concerns and Heather stubbornly insisting that they push forward. Their argument escalates as both of them realize that the stakes are far higher than they initially thought. This is no longer just about bringing a criminal to justice. It's about their safety, their future, and their relationship. Things take an even darker turn when they discover that someone has already beaten them to the punch. As they review their files one last time, a new email notification pops up on Daniel's laptop. It's from an anonymous sender, and the contents are enough to make their blood run cold. Photos of Daniel and Heather meeting in secret, evidence of their plan meticulously documented, and a single ominous message: "You're not the only ones with a plan." Realizing they've been outplayed, Daniel and Heather are forced to confront the reality that their brilliant scheme is doomed. Whoever is watching them knows every detail of their operation, and worse, has enough leverage to turn the tables. Desperate to salvage what they can, Daniel suggests abandoning the mission entirely, but Heather, blinded by her need for justice, refuses to give up so easily. As they part ways, each weighed down by the gravity of their situation, Daniel can't shake the feeling that something terrible is about to happen. The cracks in their plan have widened into chasms, and there's no telling who will fall through first. For Daniel and Heather, this is the beginning of the end, their once promising future now shadowed by a doom they can no longer escape. The ripple effect. As Sharon gears up to confront Faith and Daniel and Heather realize the full scope of their doomed plan, the ripple effects of these revelations will spread throughout Genoa City. Sharon's battle to save her daughter from a dangerous path will test her in ways she never anticipated, while Daniel and Heather's unraveling scheme will set them on a collision course with forces far more powerful than they imagined. Tuesday, September 24, will be a day of reckoning for these Genoa City residents. Secrets will be exposed, plans will fall apart, and the consequences of their actions will reverberate through the town, leaving no one untouched by the fallout.